doing it on the Hooters Hot Wing Hotline. Is there any better way to live your football life than with our friends at Hooters? OriginalHooters.com. The Hot Wing Hotline brings us our friend down with DLLS. All right, Clarence, Al Harris, is this a home run hire for the Bears?
It's a home run hire, and Cowboy fans are sick. They're sick. They're upset. The players are sick and upset. Certainly, he was key. The Cowboys, not this past year, but the previous few years, were one of the league leaders in turnovers. And they, under Dan Quinn, under Al Harris, you saw what Deron Bland did, set NFL record for pick sixes. Former 5th-round pick. We're not talking about a first-round pick. And certainly Trevon Diggs led the league in interceptions a couple of years ago. Those two guys were among the league leaders in interceptions since they've been in this NFL, and it's all due to Al Harris. He's the connector, and certainly the players love him. He related to the players. It was a huge loss for the players, huge loss for Cowboy fans, and we'll see how he does in Chicago. But yeah, that's a big, big home run hire for the Bears.
Get in there, Gregory.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the work he did with Deron Bland, I'm certainly interested in that. Obviously we all know as Bears fans who Al Harris was as a player, a grinder and a ball hawker. I mean, one of his most famous plays ever was taking Matt Hasselbeck to the house after Hasselbeck famously said, "We're going to get the ball and we're going to score." And so that's what Deron Bland has been for you guys. So I'm just curious about that one-on-one time that Al Harris had to help him become the player he has become.
Yeah, he started here, the cornerbacks coach early last year. He was the assistant head coach. That's how much he was valued. They were trying to keep him from joining Dan Quinn's staff. But the one-on-one time, the way he relates to the players, gets the most out of the players. Al Harris is great. Again, the players were literally crying, on social media when it was announced that he was going to Chicago. And certainly on the flip side, we're getting your defensive back coach, who's coming here, and we'll see what the trade-off is, because the Bears had a pretty good secondary last year, except for that one play against Washington. I don't know what was going on there, but certainly, Al Harris, the way he connects with the players, communications, technique, again, big time hire, big time get for Chicago.
Do you think the Cowboys should have gone with Al over Brian Schottenheimer
as a head coach?
The way you're talking about him,
I mean, he didn't get he didn't get an interview. There were some people talking about, well, why not give him an interview? Why not, put him in the room and give him opportunity to state his case. And certainly, hopefully, I think head coaching is something Al. I talked to Al last year. He wants to be head coach. It's not necessarily about being a defense coordinator. His focus is being a head coach. I'm glad he's getting an opportunity to certainly be the defensive passing game coordinator in Chicago, but his goal is to be a head coach, and I think one day he will become a head coach. Certainly, the Cowboys were focused on our offensive coach. They were focused on the continuity on offense with Dak Prescott, and they were looking at Brian Schottenheimer, and certainly they didn't give Al that respect and that opportunity to come at least state his case. But I think at some point he's going to get his case stated. He's going to be, certainly like Aaron Glenn, have an opportunity to be a head coach.
Well, to that same effect, then, are you surprised from continuity standpoint that they didn't ask him to be the defensive coordinator? Because I had heard that being a possibility the last couple of years. So to me, I was shocked that he took the role here. He was hired before Dennis Allen as to stick on as a DB guy, but it seems like he's not too far away from becoming a defensive coordinator. And I'm curious why the Cowboys didn't consider him over Matt Eberflus.
We could go into layers of why the Cowboys didn't consider him. Certainly, they had their eye on Matt Eberflus. Familiarity. Of course, you could say that they were familiar with Al, but they wanted, certainly with Brian being a first-time head coach, I'm sure they didn't want to go with a first-time defensive coordinator, and they certainly wanted someone in the room also who had been a head coach before to help Brian, manage things in his first year. But yeah, it's a shame because Al deserves his opportunity, and I think he's going to get his opportunity. You talked about it, whether it's here or somewhere else. That's coming down the road. Defense coordinator, and certainly I think a head coach one day, because he's that type of. You talk about the thing that they liked about Brian was, his be able to connect with the players and command the room and do things like that, in addition to his X's and O's. I think that's what Al brings.
Hey, Clarence, You mentioned the Hail Mary about 5 minutes ago. That's not what you want from your players. Do you think that Al Harris, when he sees things that are not being done properly in practice, is the type that's going to address them immediately, or is the type that might look the other way and then all of a sudden it spills over and it ends up in a game and then your season ends up going down the drain?
Is this a shot at Eberflus or a shot at Curtis? I didn't know who you taking a shot at right here.
I'm shooting the whole coaching staff right now, basically. I mean, they're all in it, and I'm not taking the players out of it either. The Bears have asked for more accountability themselves. Like, it's just got to be better. So, however you want to go.
I mean, I don't think the coaches handled it well, but that was on the court. I mean, what are you doing? I don't understand how you're talking to fans. You go back to Pop Warner football, okay? You go back to junior high football. What are you doing? The game is not over. You have a responsibility. You know what I do? Why are you talking to fans? You're not even ready it's one thing to do it between plays, but the play will start guys running down the field and you're not even in position. Do you need a head coach to tell you to wake the hell up? You wouldn't be. I'll be like, the former Bears linebacker when he was Singletary. He said, "Can't win with him. Can't play with him. Can't do it. Won't do it." You wouldn't be playing for me. Okay, so but yeah, I think Al is a guy who certainly will get in their face and hold them accountable for sure.
And I think that's important. I mean, these players at the end of the year, we can criticize the notion of this, but a lot of players coming out at the end of the year, like, we need tougher coaching, we need accountability, which is, there's a lot of truth to that, but then it leads like, well, what's up, guys? Like, you're welcome to do that for each other. And Al, as a former player who certainly was that type of guy, I think is going to be instrumental in bringing that to this locker room. But I'm curious because I can remember a few times here this season where Dallas had some things going on with some players and some media where there was distractions because of frustrations spilling over from not having the success. And a guy like Al Harris being kind of a veteran voice to helping these players kind of maneuver through that stuff and handle it maturely.
Yeah, and that's what he is. That's what you have in him as a former player, and I think it's interesting that former players certainly, can relate better sometimes to the locker room and to what guys are dealing with and how to handle situations, because he's been in that situation. He's played, you talked about, it's funny because I was on Twitter the other day, recently, and I saw the Matt Hasselbeck play and Al Harris taking it back to the end zone. So he's been in those situations, those key moments, and I think he's someone that can, again, speak to it not just from a coaching standpoint, but from experience standpoint. I've been in these situations. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be in the fire, and this is how you get out of it. This is how you be successful. And again, everyone loves Al Harris down. He's so cool and got the nice dreads and everything working. I think he wears the skinny jeans and everything else. I think the players are going to be able to relate to him, have fun with him. His ankles are showing. That's one thing that we talked about. Cowboys coach, can we get somebody with the ankles showing? Can we get somebody that has a skinny jean, that wears the joggers, so to speak, that can relate to these players, but also hold them accountable? That's what you're gonna get in Al Harris.
Clarence, it sounds that the longest drought in the NFL as far as going into conference championship, Super Bowl in the NFC is Dallas.
Wow. I didn't know. Didn't know about the drought. I don't know if you heard about the air quotes.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to know for Bears fans everywhere, because we've been in we've been in our own little drought over here. We want to thank you, Clarence, for whatever the Cowboys have done to make the Bears not the worst. Yes, what's going on over there?
5. Get 5. Get 5. Get 5. I know it's been a drought, but you can't take away the 5.
No, but the one that we got is worth like 10, because it was best team ever. Best team ever.
We Super Bowl shuffle. I'm with you. Get 5. Get your numbers up.
Yeah, no, we do.
So wait, Mark, help me out. When is the last time Dallas got to a conference championship?
29 years ago.
Yeah, so, 95 season. 95 season.
And then you joined the beat in 98?
No. See, this is dirty pool. This is nasty work. This is This is nasty work right here. Because yes, I've been carrying this on my mantle. I joined the beat in 97. Okay. Really, actually, a late call up in 96. So the 96 playoffs, 97. They have 4 playoffs wins since I showed up. Yeah, me and Jerry Jones are the constant. 4 playoff wins since I showed up. Yeah, it's all me. I'm the problem.
You killed America's team. I mean, I remember in the 90s, like I would be recording the games, like I'd have
On
basketball on
VHS.
Sundays, come back, Dallas Cowboys in the AFC or the NFC championship every year, and then you come along and now all of a sudden they're not there. So I feel for you. I'm excited to, meet you when we get down to New Orleans because you've been covering the team for a long time. So obviously we all understand your reputation precedes you, man. And so I was excited to hear when you joined DLLS and joined our team here. So I'm curious, just from your standpoint, everything you've seen through all those years with the Cowboys and, just how much Jerry Jones is a lightning rod for conversation and the expectation level for the Cowboys. And I'm just curious from your experience, like going through that roller coaster with the media and the fans.
My first year on the beat, okay, Barrett Switzer got arrested. First training camp, he got arrested for carrying a gun through the airport. Okay. So I've covered it all, from Michael Irvin's trials and tribulations, and I mean trials, the drug trial, to the Quincy Carter years. I talked about T.O. years and, Quincy Carter getting cut in training camp, Tony Banks getting cut in training camp, certainly the Terrell Owens years, the Romo Coaster years, all the stuff, I was telling somebody the other day that, yes, we watched Jerry handle things off the field, okay? Back in the 90s before cell phone cameras, we didn't report any of that stuff, okay? The stuff, the off the field stuff. And now in a day and age, the gotcha, oh, they got girls? Is that you supposed to report that now? So I've seen it all from before the cameras to now the social media. It's a lot. I always tell people there's covering the Cowboy, being an NFL beat writer, and then there's covering the Cowboys, like being an NFL beat writer on steroids, because you cover everything.
Are you surprised that Deion Sanders is not the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
No, because I've known Deion. I've been watching Deion and covering Deion, certainly throughout his career. I was one of the first, only people we talked to when he was here in Dallas. And then, since he started coaching his sons, and I'm talking about from Pee Wee football on up, and he's really motivated to coach young people. If you look at what he's doing in Colorado, we got our guys at DNVR who do a great job covering that Colorado football program. Something came out the other day, and I was talking to a Cowboy staffer. Colorado, for the first time in the history of their program, had a 3.2 GPA as a football team. Never happened under any other coach. We talk about all the stuff that Deion is and all the stuff that he brings and all the prime time and all the buzz and all the money and all the other stuff, the glitz and the glamour. But he's an old school coach who cares about those players and is focused on them being men and developing those young men. That's why he wants to stay in college more so than get to the NFL.
Clarence, appreciate you being a good sport. Appreciate the Al Harris information. We'll see you in New Orleans, my friend.
I hate deep dish pizza. I just want to let you guys know.
Oh,
I'm not a Chicago deep dish guy. I just want
you talk about it.
I don't want spaghetti pizza. I don't want lasagna pizza. I want a thin slice pizza, okay?
Are you from New York?
I'm from Dallas. I'm from Texas.
Well, toughen up there.
I don't want spaghetti. I want lasagna pizza.
Yes, you do. You do. you just what do you put on your what's on your cheeseburger?
Lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, onions, the works.
Okay, well, you
cheese.
Right. Okay, good. So, you're not like a 6-year-old eating your cheeseburger with just ketchup. So you need to bring that to your pizza too. You got to evolve. Get yourself a nice slice right in front of you. Bang, bang, and then you can carry it through the week. It's a beautiful thing.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks,
we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm bringing down something.
Well, when he comes up for the Cowboys Bears matchup next season, we'll show him what real Chicago pizza is all about, and it's not all deep dish up here. That's a tourist trope. Like we have other pizzas we can give you.
It's no
Thank
trope. It is no trope. We are about deep dish. I know we have taverns.
We
We are deep
got
dish.
infighting. We got infighting.
Yeah, this guy does. He's from Indiana, Clarence, so he doesn't know what he's talking about. Hey, Clarence, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you.
All right, guys.
We all silly like the mayor.